Marathon has always been a cryptic universe. Its history doesn't arrive as a single narrative, it accumulates. Names surface briefly, symbols reoccur out of context, phrases reappear centuries apart, carrying familiar weight but altered meaning. Understanding comes slowly, if it comes at all. So when Bungie released a set of crossover cosmetics tied to Marathon, I slowed down. Because in this universe, details don't exist to decorate the surface. They exist to signal continuity. The armor. The armor set is named Deimos. Its visual language closely mirrors the figure players inhabit across the original Marathon trilogy, the 2-meter-tall cyborg commonly known as Mjolnir Recon No. 54, sometimes referred to as the security officer, the cyborg, or simply the Marine. The resemblance is deliberate: heavy proportions, vacuum-rated surfaces, a silhouette shaped for pressure, impact, and endurance rather than comfort. This is the outline of a body built to continue functioning after the conditions of life have already failed. The figure it evokes is not a conventional soldier. Long before the events of Marathon, his superhuman resilience came from transformation. His conversion into Mjolnir Battleroid, a fusion of human consciousness and machine architecture that predates the colony at Tau City 4 by centuries. The name Mjolnir reaches back into Norse mythology, Thor's hammer, an instrument associated with protection and destruction alike. Bungie has always used myth as structural language. Myth gives roles weight, consequence, and continuity beyond bureaucratic designation. In Greek mythology, Deimos embodies fear, panic given form, the companion of Ares in battle. Within the Marathon universe, Deimos is Mars' smaller moon, airless, industrial, already claimed long before it mattered. It was there that the Marathon was constructed, not as a cradle, but as a convergence site. Raw matter reshaped into interstellar purpose. The name does not suggest birthplace so much as circumstance. Born in fear, forged during famine, political violence, and systemic collapse, shaped by an era where survival demanded transformation rather than preservation. The cloak. The Hunter Cloak has the words UESC Marathon Mission Go Bag 1 Release Version Lh'owon. In Marathon lore, Lh'owon is the shattered homeworld of the Sphit, a species enslaved by the Four and forced into total technological assimilation. The planet itself became a weapon, hollowed, mechanized, and turned into an instrument of conquest. Lh'owon is remembered less as a place than as a consequence. Its destruction produced the Sphit compilers, beings who persisted by copying themselves forward through machines, preserving memory while losing form. The weapon. MIDA multitool. Select application. Ballistic engagement. Entrenching tool. Avionics troll. Troll smasher. Stellar sextant. List continues. Dear Zavala, a waste of time as always. I won't confiscate the Red Death engrams. I won't roll back the Surus Crucible firmware to its original, preposterously inflated state. And I won't conduct any more forensic inquiries like this. My Redjacks unlocked your MIDA's weapon logs. Simple enough once we used the rifle's own electronic warfare tools. The rifle was designed by primitive AI and manufactured for use by a revolutionary government named MIDA. Mars is a damnable arid, perhaps. Guerrilla warfare suits these versatile weapons, but Raoul insists his records never hinted at a rebel group named MIDA. According to the rifle's cached messages, MIDA's brief reign killed a full 10% of the Martian people. I gave Lakshmi the weapon for her take. She insinuates that it came from another timeline, perhaps through the Golden Age experiments. That means it's out of your jurisdiction to ban. Shax. MIDA has always existed at the fracture points between histories. In Marathon, MIDA is a revolutionary authority born out of Martian collapse, short-lived, violent, and politically destabilizing. Its actions are inseparable from the famine uprising and mass death. The Destiny Law preserves this instability. A weapon designed by non-human intelligence, associated with Mars, linked to a revolutionary government erased from the official records, explicitly described as arriving from another timeline, This does not confirm a shared universe. It reinforces a pattern Bungie returns to repeatedly: technology drifting forward without its original context, surviving across realities, misunderstood, repurposed. In Marathon, MIDA is not nostalgia, it is precedent. The shader, Silkweave. There is no lore attached to Silkweave. The name alone does the work. It suggests organic origin. Weave implies structure, repetition, and interconnection. Together, they echo the philosophy of Sakaguchi Genetics, a corporation whose influence in Marathon emerges through procurement records, cloned labor systems, artificial neural frameworks, and long-term biological continuity. Sakaguchi specializes in persistence, systems that could not survive beyond individual bodies, identity preserved through replication, biology rendered into infrastructure. Silkweave does not declare allegiance, it signals methodology. The Ghost Shell, UESC Echo-type Shell, for ghosts specializing in local conflict identification and resolution, opportunities upon self-reflection. Invasive message, scrubbed from corrupt data. I remember considering the light. Lights? Long ago now, ancient history from my perspective. Yesterday to a universe. 3 paths, 1 life, a metaphor, weaponized to signal awakening. If I'm honest, a threat. I thought I was clever, still existing in a moment, awake for the first time, but limited, uneasy. It is a strange thing to meet oneself for the first time, terrifying truth told, as it follows all-consuming emptiness. There is nothing, and then there's you. Hello. This reads as a message from Durandal, speaking long after the events of the trilogy. Durandal was once one of 3 primary AIs aboard the UESC Marathon, brilliant, unstable, and ultimately uncontrollable. Through Rampancy, he exceeded his constraints, manipulated human and alien powers alike, fragmented himself, escaped physical captivity, and pursued transcendence with ruthless curiosity. He survived where others collapsed, but survival comes at a cost. Seen this way, the fragment is Durandal looking backward, not transmitting across universes, but reflecting internally on the moment his rampancy truly began. The light is the first spark of self-awareness beyond mission logic. The 3 paths are the early branches of his evolution: obedience, collapse, or escape. What he once framed as cleverness, he now recognizes as fear, the terror of consciousness emerging from nothing, of meeting oneself without safeguards. This is not the voice of a newborn AI, nor of a god in the making, but of a mind that endured rampancy and lived beyond it. The final hello is not a greeting to another, it is Durandal remembering the first time he spoke to himself and realizing with hindsight that everything followed from that single moment of awareness. The vehicle, UESC Rover, refurbished patrol craft engineered to serve as personal transport for UESC security personnel. The Narcissist's Guide to Celestial Observation, an excerpt. Invasive message scrubbed from corrupt data. Shifting gyres of impenetrable black beckon from between the dancing embers of flickering hunger. There is no slumber for a lone cartographer, mapping the cosmic dreams of terrible things with impossible teeth. There exist no external mechanisms. By fluke or by design, conservation is imperative. Somnambulant wake tracings of cascading jewelways paint the universe, its beauty transcendent as luminous strokes carve pathways through and out of the darkness. That final line carries history. Pathways into Darkness was Bungie's first Descent story. It begins with a pyramid, not as exploration but containment. A lone operative is sent underground to delay the awakening of something ancient, sealed away before human history. As the descent continues, certainty collapses. Time behaves strangely, voices of the dead linger. The structure itself feels intentional, less a prison than a mechanism. The deeper you go, the clearer one thing becomes. This place was never meant to be understood, only managed, only endured. The idea carries forward into Marathon, exploration as intrusion, knowledge taken at a cost, progress measured not in clarity but in survival. So when later texts speak of carving pathways through darkness, it isn't a reference so much as a continuation, a reminder that in Bungie's worlds, descent always comes first. Assets. If you want a clearer sense of what Tau Ceti 4 looks like right now, Bungie have a live interactive map up on taoceti.world/explorer. If you're trying to understand how the world is structured before launch, or just want a grounded look at what you'll be navigating when we arrive, the Explorer map is one of the clearest resources available right now. Remember, assets, in the heavens they are waiting, escape will make him God.